How's it going, Garrett?
Very good, Thomas. How are you?
Yeah, pretty good. Congrats on the show. Watched the first episode last night, and I am hooked. Um, was it the same for you? When you read for the part?
No, Terrence Winter and David Glasser had contacted me. I was shooting in Alabama, and they approached me about this project. Um, I've always wanted to, I've really wanted to cross paths and work with Taylor Sheridan, Terrence Winter as well. I think they're the best of the best that are out there, best writers, best showrunners. So it's a dream team. They approached me with this character, ex-bull rider, ex-convict, bar runner in this town, and sort of had a similar kind of slow burning start that they had on Sopranos, Boardwalk Empire, Yellowstone, something like that. And I was intrigued. I hadn't done a series before, and to be with these guys are in the best of hands. So I said, if you wanted somebody that's going to bring some blood, sweat, and tears, some heart and soul to a guy with some qualms and troubles, trials, and tribulations, I'm your guy.
You're definitely you get the sense in the show all these other influences, but it is, of course, it's very much its own show. It's got its own identity. When it comes to shows that you love, are you the kind of guy that wants to sit and binge, all the episodes, or do you like, the weekly, release?
I'm myself. I'm a sit and binger. I had a pal come with me last night who absolutely loved the show, and he's that he loves a set time. He really misses that, romanticizes about that looking forward to next Friday at this time. He really misses that, and he loves that he gets to look forward to on this. So it's fun to see you know, playing one side of the deck or the other on preferences. But I'm binge watching myself.
It's
I'm
always
not
that
all.
interesting dynamic between friends or family. You mentioned, of course, Terence, being a big draw for you. When he had that chat, what was it about the character that really grabbed your attention?
I think it was just the colorful conflictions that the character had. There's a lot going on, and there's a lot that you'll see as the season moves forward, and a lot to go from, which was the more interesting part. I think what really draws you to TV is getting to explore all these different facets of your character throughout not only an episode but the season, then hopefully, knock on wood, throughout multiple seasons of it. Just the terrains you get to sort of navigate, and all the other options. So that was the exciting part. I mean, the character, as I said, was
Mm-hmm.
an ex-bull rider, and spent some time in prison. So he had that to garner a kinship and trust with Sylvester's character, which is going to be interesting to see how that pans out. Sly's character being sort of transplanted in this place like a fish out of water in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He needs somebody to trust, and when somebody of his likes can find somebody to trust, what's that going to lead to, and is that going to form something? So that's the interesting thing to look forward to.
And you, of course, grew up in a small town yourself, on a farm. How much of that, did you kind of bring to the character? People that you maybe met, in your kind of younger years.
Boy, I'd say, look, it was just nice to get back to the Midwest and shoot. Tulsa, Tulsa and Oklahoma led itself to not only be sort of a great environmental character of this project, gave a wonderful landscape for something, especially something for that thereof, like the likes of the mob and the gangster territory. To see that, in Oklahoma is going to give a whole different flair to what everybody's seen before within Terrence Winter's projects of Sopranos and Boardwalk Empire. Mixes almost a little landscape of Yellowstone in there. It's kind of a win-win situation for me. Being brought up in the Midwest, man, it felt like I was stepping outside my childhood front door and going to work every day. It felt like home.
In your career, you've worked with, massive names, and, you're adding, the Sylvester Stallone, to that list. you know, of course you're going to be a professional, but did you have, you know, any sort of kind of fanboy moments, you know, to be, you know, working with, you know, a guy that's created so many, you know, iconic characters?
You know, it's funny. I've known Sylvester actually since I was 18. I met him and we had the same trainer, this guy Gunnar Peterson, when I was just about to start my first film, Troy. And I walked in, and it was Sylvester there, sort of climbing one of those ceiling ropes with his legs jackknife sticking out. Like, shit. But he was always the sweetest. He was always kind of like a big brother in the gym, and so supportive. And so when this opportunity came about, and I've crossed his path many times, you know, until now, when this opportunity came about, I was like, man, why not go to work every day with somebody that's always kind of been, you know, taking you under their wing and been sort of a big brother figure kind of in my life. This feels like it was due time for this situation. Me and Sly meeting up and getting to shoot, and we were just buddies on set. The kinship and the bond was effortless. We got to, you know, we really got to help each other out sort of with these scenes and digging deeper with them and making light of certain situations, but also going and trying to pull at the heartstrings with other situations. So it was fantastic.
It's a pretty small cast, and you know, you're
Pretty small. I thought it was freaking huge last night.
You've got you're a talented musician. You know, between takes, you know, during kind of down times, you know, were you serenading, you know, your fellow cast members with, you know, with your musical talents?
Serenade, wouldn't that be quite the sight? I mean, you know, all these guys dressed up like, you know, the big mob bosses, McGee's, and I'm just sitting over there, you know, looking like some sitar player in the corner. Just, there, you know what? It's funny you brought that up because there might be some to look forward to in the episodes coming up with that. I always bring the old guitar and the axe with everywhere. I learned my lesson when I didn't bring it on one film, and I was working with Jeff Bridges, and he was like, "Come on, man, where's your axe?" So since then, I don't leave the axe behind, Jeff.
Amazing. And just one final question, if you don't mind. I was a huge fan of, you know, Tron Legacy, and you know, ever since that, I was, you know, dying for a sequel, for a third one to happen. I know it seems like it's pretty much dead in the water, but is it something that you would be open and would like to, you know, finish and return to?
Oh, absolutely. We were almost about to go at one point. I wonder now if that was 2012, 2013. I think Joseph Kosinski came out and gave a really good explanation of the odds that sort of were against it, but we were all set to go. The script was wonderful. And it was kind of just, it was a choice by Disney to delay it at that point in, you know, indefinitely or indefinitely. I definitely would. Man, we had such a wonderful team on that one. It was a difficult shoot. But we had such a dream team. Joe Kosinski's incredible. Everybody that was a part of it, Sean Bailey, you know, to work with Jeff, Olivia Wilde, all the wonderful cast. Daft Punk was incredible. I mean, you know, time will tell on that one. It's never dead in the water, my friend.
Well, Garrett, thanks so much for your time. Loving the show. Cannot wait to see the rest of it.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey, you guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yes.
Nice.
Hey,